There's trouble all around this place and danger in the strangest face. If you get lost along the way, just close your eyes and softly say the silent words you never heard when you were sleeping soundly in your bed.
Hey Pat, it's midnight and we are back on the Hypercraft server. Now, I know what you're thinking. Midnight, where have you been? Well, I tell you, my friend, I have been very, very busy. Very busy. But we are not busy anymore, and it's time to start making some videos. Know what I mean? Now, just because I haven't been making videos does not mean that we have not been, hey Wolfie, that we have not been busy. So on my inaugural episode, while I shake off the cobwebs and get used to talking to myself in an empty room facing only a red set of fraps numbers, we will take a tour of the things that I have built, and we will begin here with the mob farm, which is down here. Now up here is the area where we AFK. We are in a deep ocean biome, and we are 155 blocks up from the ground. Or up from, you know, zero. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying. I'm rusty. Leave me alone. So down there, many blocks away, sea level is 64, I believe, is our mob farm. So when we are up here in this deep ocean biome, the only place for hostile mobs to spawn anywhere around us is in there. And so productivity rates are ridiculous. The items that are generated from the mob farm go up this glass elevator and into this sorting system. I have brought up here a couple of priests because I have been turning zombie flesh into glowstone by means of turning zombie flesh into emeralds and then emeralds into glowstone, like a boss. So, and we have also been generating a ton of TNT, spoiler alert, of gunpowder. This is all gunpowder here. Trust me, it's all gunpowder there. And gunpowder everywhere. This, I think, is also gunpowder. So that's gunpowder. That's gunpowder. That's gunpowder. This is rotten flesh. That's rotten flesh. And our sorting system is the pretty standard variety of sorting system. And things that I do not want, which at the moment are empty bottles and sticks. And then stuff that we are maxed out on all winds up down there in that lava. So that is the sorting system that we have created. I used water up here instead of hoppers to alleviate some of the lag that a whole chain of hoppers would create, and because I'm not as worried. The problem with a system like this using water instead of hoppers is that you will occasionally overload the system and the hoppers won't be able to pull items out of the water stream faster than they're moving across. But with a farm like this, that doesn't matter to me that much. I'd rather have the efficiency of movement. But if I were doing a sorting system, you know, where I'm sorting like diamonds and all, you know, just a regular like storage room inventory kind of deal, this would not be the best way to do it. Unless you had something at the end that was not a lava pit, but something that would recycle items back in to pass through again. You know, whatever. So anyway, this is the sorting system. And down here is where we're headed next. Do we have, and we has ender pearls. So let us take the snapshot Vader down, boing, and that is the farm. Any questions? Teehee. Yep. Slime blocks, slime blocks, slime blocks for the win. Well, let's look at the bottom first. The bottom is kind of interesting, and then we'll come back here and do all this. Mobs are generated on these platforms that are made out of packed ice. The packed ice is used because they are spawnable, and because, not because mobs go faster on packed ice, but because once you push them with water, it's harder for them to change their momentum and keep from falling. So anyway, they are generated on these triangular platforms. The water will push them off the platform. They fall down this tube and down to here. Now, book, and here is here. This is basically a funnel death pad with droppers that have dropper clocks that shoot the items out as they come in. They get shot off into this water stream. I should have stayed down there. They get shot off into this water stream. And then at the end of this water stream is this here glass elevator, taking them to their deluxe apartment in the sky high. Now, what I have done, you may ask, MidnightDesigner, why is there lava here? Two reasons: zombies and chickens. I had experimented with the iron golem slash ocelot approach to dealing with zombies and chickens, because what's happening is zombies are falling with feather falling boots. They are picking up items and then just not despawning ever. Excuse me. And chicken jockeys are generating, and the chickens aren't going away, and so they're laying eggs and gumming up the works. The problem with the Iron Golem and Ocelot approach is that the Ocelots are finicky. They don't always attack the chickens, and the Iron Golems wind up getting themselves hurt and killed, so you wind up having to replace them as time goes by. Now what I have done instead is we have created this little opening here. There's a door, there's lava, and two... Oh, that was not smart. And two trap doors right here. And when they are open, zombies think that it is all clear to walk right through that area to get to this door, which they love so very much. And then they fall in the lava and die. On the other hand, chickens will also do that very thing. But if you've ever tried to pen chickens, you know that they will go for any opening they can find. And so this opening right here, the chickens gravitate towards as well, because they think they can escape, because again, they see this trapdoor as a safe place to be, and then they go down there and they die. So that is how we have dealt with, and since I've installed those two mechanisms into the system, we have not had a problem with either zombies or chickens. Before, I would let this run, say at AFK at the place overnight. This thing would have 25 zombies in it by morning, which, you know, can hamper your rates, to say the least. Okay, so that is the bottom portion of the mechanism. Now let us look at the cool part. This is not the cool part. This is the broken part that we're going to talk about in a minute. But the cool part is the inside. Let me tell you about what happens in theory. In theory, what happens is this is a clock that will intermittently fire off these dispensers, releasing water and then sucking it back, leaving the water out long enough to push the mobs off the platforms. Now, what would be really fun would be to go inside and see the farm in operation. Let's do that right now. Okay, so we are on my test world, and up here we have Pixel Gymnast logged on to the world so that we can do something very interesting and very snapshotty. I want to see what it looks like inside of the mob farm while it is running, and we are going to do that by going into Spectator mode. Engage. Bonk. So we are now in Spectator mode, and we are going to go down and see what this looks like in operation. Now what's cool about this is, oh my, so this is what it looks like when it's going. What's cool about this, hang on, hostile mobs, you're going to be driving me cray. Alright, hostile, bye-bye. Alright, what's cool about the Spectator mode is, are you seeing this? This is ridiculous. What's cool about Spectator mode is, unlike if I were to just fly in here in creative mode, it would have, Spectator mode doesn't impact mob generation. So I can come in here and see what it looks like when the farm is working without actually interfering with the productivity of the farm. So as you can see, we have 4 layers. This is very similar to like a monkey farm design. As I said, I have the link in the description so you can check out the design, but it's this triangular platform design. We went with packed ice instead of regular blocks because it generates momentum for the mobs, so that it's harder for them to fight falling off the edge. And the water extends exactly the shape of these platforms. So there's 4 platforms, 4 sides to each platform. Now in the tutorial video, he does not have a floor down here. It just dumps out onto the ground. So what I have done is I have shaped, now if I can find one without a bunch of mobs on it, I have shaped this floor so that you drop a single water source block, and it will come down like this. So if you are going to build one of these farms, I'm going to just leave it here for a second so you can look at the shape of that floor design, and it will give you exactly what you want. I mean, the minor downside is that these 4 corners, or these 4 middle blocks, don't get water in them, but as you can see, mobs generate so quickly that any mob that gets stuck on one of those 4 blocks is eventually knocked off. So this is what our, oop, too high, down we go. This is what our production rate looks like when there's nobody on the server. Like that. This is the exact same build in the exact same deep ocean, with someone AFKing up there so that only the mob farm is loaded. So, yeah, that's that. That is so cool. Spectator mode is my new favorite thing now. That is so awesome. So awesome. All right. Let's head back. Whoosh. This is so cool. And we're back. Okay, so here is the clock that runs the system of flushing the business. And here is the problem with the clock, at least in the 14W05B OU812 snapshot. There, under this sand block, or where this sand block is currently, is supposed to be a piston. And the way the mechanism is supposed to work is that the piston gets fired, sends a signal through only for a moment until the piston is all the way up, and then that creates the double pulse. But what's happening is that piston is despawning. I'm presuming that it is a snapshot glitch, not a feature of the game that your pistons despawn. And it's only that piston. It's a non-sticky piston. And it despawns all the time. In the past week, I have gone through nearly half a stack of pistons, just replacing this. So at the moment, all seems to be well, but very soon this piston will despawn. I'm going to have to decide if I want to keep this clock mechanism, which isn't the best in the world, and maybe go with a funnel thing clock that similar to the one I used to flush the water on the Midnight Madness server. But we have lots to see, and we don't have time for that sort of business. So let's get into the Nether and see the next thing. Which, the next thing that we're going to see, spoiler, well, not spoiler alert, is a double blaze farm. Very near where our base is, I found 2 blaze spawners that were close enough to one another that we could activate them both at the same time. Now, I looked at a number of different designs and kind of played with different stuff. Either, you know, having the 2 spawners generate blazes and then pushing them together with pistons into one killing area, or using a minecart system. I think they had done that on one of the Hermitcraft worlds. So what the conclusion that I reached was that it was just as easy to have 2 spawners going and then kill them separately. So just to build 2 independent spawners, 2 independent traps, and have them collecting mobs into one spot at the same time, and then uniting a closing and crushing system so that you can control both from one location, which is right now. So when we are here on this platform, which is creatively called the AFK platform, both of the spawners are active and are generating mobs. Now this one is trying to prove me wrong, but it is so. So mobs fill up in both chambers. Mobs fill... There you go. Thank you. Blazes fill both chambers, and you know, and the actual mechanism is basically the Etho style sticky piston pushing mechanism, funneling them down to one block for ease of killing and whatnot. There are 1.5 modifications that I've made to the design. Both of them relate to that bottom ring of pistons and blocks. As you can see, perhaps, the bottom ring of pistons pushes a glass block rather than a solid block. The reason for that is, in my experience with building these things, and I've built several of them now, the suffocation damage that the blazes suffer by and large occurs down in that bottom ring. So if you can eliminate that suffocation damage that's being generated in that bottom ring, you will lose far fewer blazes when your crusher is activated, because you're getting the vast majority of them down there with no suffocation damage whatsoever. So that is the theory behind using the glass blocks down at the bottom. So you might ask, well, why don't you use glass blocks for the whole mechanism if that's the case? Well, as you can see from what's happening down there, using a glass block makes the piston pushing far less efficient. And so that is why. See, they glitch and they hold those blocks in place. So if we did the whole trap with that kind of a mechanism, yeah, it would be muy inefficient. The other thing that I've done is for this bottom row, instead of having it activated with the bottom ring, instead of having it activated with pressure plates, it's just activated on a clock, so that they are firing clockwise one at a time every so often, however many, it's probably like 10 seconds or whatever it is. The reason for that is that with the pressure plates on that bottom row, there was sometime a budding effect that was happening, and it was glitching out the pistons above. So rather than deal with that, we were just cycling these pistons, like I said, every 10 seconds, so that we were avoiding that problem as well. So those are the two tweaks that we have made to the standard Etho design. And as you can see, we generated blazes in both. So there is one switch to rule them all to close the trap. There's one button to crush them all. Now we should lose very few blazes to suffocation damage in the crusher. If we watch, we lost none. So that's very good. That's very good for productivity. And then we just kill them with the splash potion of harming, like so. And take it a XP, take it a blaze rise. And then we will go over to this other one. Boop. Do the same thing. And Bob's your uncle. So that is our double blaze farm. But let's go to the thing that I'm actually kind of most excited for. And to do that, we need to head back to spawn. And we will be there in just a second. Okay, so here we are, heading back to spawn. And I wanted to show you the shop that I built in the spawn mall. There's been a lot of activity out here at spawn since we last hung out. We'll have to do a little tour next time because we are running super long, and we've got look at that mob farm. It's beautiful, and the tree farm, and enchantment farm, and a green block farm. So anyway, as you know, we generated a blue million gunpowder chests, and so we have created un TNT shop. The MidnightDesigner TNT shop. Now I promise you we will look at all this stuff in the next video. We will do a tour, but for now we have got to finish what we're doing and get done because we're running long. So thank you, Rain. Before we go inside to the actual shop itself, let's go back into the employees only area. Now the way that the system works is there is a chest with a funnel thing underneath it. Into the chest you place your diamond, or diamonds, period, plural, not period, period, plural, more than one. and the diamonds get sucked into the system. They will go around and do some things that we're going to talk about here in a second. This torch tower gets activated, and these dispensers, not dispensers because that would be tragic, these droppers fire off twice. There's 16 droppers. They fire off once, twice, dispensing 32 TNT. So that is the price. It is 1 diamond for 32 TNT, or 1/2 of a stack. This is the mechanism that fires it. Now, what is the mechanism that makes this happiness happen? Well, that is down in the basement. So we go down here, and this is the mechanism that makes it all work. I'm pretty sure that's self-explanatory. So thanks for watching. No, actually, it's easier to look at this in my creative world. So let's go there and do that, and I'll explain how everything kind of works. Okay, so here we are in our creative world, and this is a mock-up of the mechanism. Now this, to give you a point of reference, is the chest in the actual store where people put in their items. The first decision that the machine has to make is what the customer gave a diamond or not a diamond? And so the first thing we have to do is sort diamond and not diamond. So this mechanism, this funnel thing, and then this redstone here is the classic sorting system. So anything that is not a diamond will not go through the system, and in our world is passed through a dropper into a glass elevator and spits back out into the store. If it is a diamond, it passes down this chain of funnel things into this dropper. Now, if folks who use the shop only paid 1 diamond at a time and waited each time to get their 32 TNT, then this redstone would not need to exist. We would just feed directly from the comparator into a repeater that would fire off the torch tower to set off the droppers to release the TNT. But and I guess we could have put a sign up that said do 1 transaction at a time, but that's lame. The more interesting problem was, what do you do when someone puts in, say, 3 diamonds? We needed the mechanism to stop things and process the diamonds 1 at a time, and that's what this does. Once there are items in this dropper, the comparator fires off, and it chains to this point and releases the item that's in this funnel thing here, and the item starts to move around the chain of funnel things. The first thing that it does along its route is it fires off the torch tower. Then it will continue around and around and get to this point. It will then fire off this line, which then dumps our first diamond out of the system and into the chest. Now, if there is only 1 diamond in the chest at this point, when the dropper fires the diamond out of the system, this will depower and your item will get locked back in here and won't fire it off again. But if there are multiple diamonds in the dropper, this will remain powered and will start the cycle again. So if we can see this, we will put, say, 5 diamonds in the hopper. Now if we watch, 1, 2, why did it stop at 2? Let's try this again. Did some, what Did some of it come out over here? Huh. That has never happened. Let's try it again. One, two, three. Okay, well that's how it's supposed to work. And then once the 3 diamonds have gone through, the system stops. So I don't know why I did it that one time. That was weird. Oh, I think, did I put it into the hopper directly instead of having it feed through one at a time through the, well, whatever. It works. The system works. So if we do it again, we'll see it fire off once, twice, 3 times. Then the system shuts off. No more firing. So let's go look and see how that has translated in the actual world. Okay, so here we are back in the basement, and to orientate yourself, here is where payment is made. This is the sorting system that determines diamond or not a diamond, and the not a diamond flows through this funnel thing chain into this dropper, gets fired into the water and shoots up back into the lobby. And if it is a diamond, then it travels down this funnel thing chain into this dropper, which then starts the mechanism that we talked about, firing this torch tower at the appropriate intervals and for the appropriate number of cycles. So let's go see how it all works. So here we have the MidnightDesigner TNT Emporium, and we have an employee, a wither skeleton named Lucky, because if you're going to have an employee in a TNT Emporium, why would you not name him Lucky? Your order will be dropped from the ceiling. 1 diamond for 32 TNT. Orders may take several seconds to process fully. Please do not loot our employees and try to take his precious wither skull. So here is the chest for payment. So let's try it out. Let's take 2 diamonds, and the first thing that we will do is make a payment of not diamond. So here I am, I'm on the server, and I'm going to try to scam you with my iron block. There's no TNT, and my iron block has been returned to me. Curses, foiled again. Now let us insert 2 diamonds and see what happens. It's cool. There's 1 set and 1 more. Come on. There we go. Now, if we are correct, there should be 1 stack of TNT and only 1 stack. Now, I understand that the mechanism is a little slow, especially between cycles, but it is my preference that the system be slower and excruciatingly accurate as opposed to being faster and then occasionally with server lag and whatnot, glitching and me taking a diamond that we have not earned by providing product. So that is the TNT shop. So on behalf of Lucky and myself, Pat, I want to thank you very much for watching. I am glad to be back in the saddle, as it were. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and I promise you there will be more to come very soon. If you want to start a conversation with me, why don't you start one in the comments below? So here we have a double blaze farm, a mob farm, and a TNT shop. We're out of here. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.